Good evening, Linkin Park. How are we going?
How you going, mate?
Awesome, man. That is such a cool clip, man. It looked like a massive night there.
Always is at our shows.
Yeah, that was killer. Those Newport vibes, man. That's a hell of a stage. We got the big screen and stuff behind us, and all the lights and all the bedazzlement. It's good fun.
Yeah, and it's tight, man. It's gridded in. Sounds wicked, man.
So that was actually multi-tracked ourselves as well. So we actually multi-tracked that gig and filmed it all ourselves.
Yeah, wicked, man.
Oh, not literally because we were on stage, but we got someone else to film it. Yeah, so we had to film in the crowd filming it and stuff.
No, that wasn't actually. It was on a tripod. But anyways, yeah. So I finally got the whole multi-track thing happening now. So yeah, pretty much every gig from now on we can multi-track and have like a pro sounding clip,
Yeah, fantastic, man. Well, it's like when you have content like that, it makes it so much more enjoyable to watch. As a fan when you're sitting on the other side, like you got all the angles again, and your sound as well. Your sound is phenomenal. I was actually listening back to it. Like I've obviously heard a couple of times now, when I was setting the stream up earlier. But all the backing tracks sounds like spot on, like the original. So someone would have been put to work having to sort of program all those tracks.
I wonder who that is.
Someone is this guy.
Yeah, so look, basically with the whole Linkin Park thing, like the two main key factors to it are like obviously Chester Bennington, and not even Linkin Park can replace Chester Bennington, but so that's key number one. But key number two is the backing tracks with all their what do you call it, sampling and stuff. That's a big key in the songs. The actual songs are based around looping and sampling. So that has been sort of the hardest thing to try to replicate. Some of it is accessible because of like stuff like Guitar Hero when they put out the stems and stuff like that. But there's definitely a challenge. So I've actually got official stems for some songs. So that's probably why you're hearing, like it sounds very
perfect. Yeah.
But saying that, like Linkin Park actually do use backings as well. Like that all that sort of looping, like So yeah, it's a key part of the songs,
For sure, man.
But there's hours and hours and hours of work on those tracks. Trust me.
But again, it pays off because again, you can hear that. You can hear that this is not something you decided to do yesterday. Like it's so easy to hear. And again, like also like you actually play super tight as well. So it's like it pays off, to put in the extra hours there. But I'm curious to hear like what actually made you guys start back in the day, and how long have you been playing for at the moment?
Yeah, 2 years now.
That's October last. No, it's been a year, hasn't it?
No, it's been 2 years.
No,
2 years.
Oh yeah, 2000. Yeah. No. So what happened was, like I was playing the pro cover scene, so I was Jez. We were in the same band, and things just got stale playing covers. Playing Daryl Braithwaite Horses and Summer of
Kazan.
So what happened was like it got stale, and then like what happened, we would play In the End, and I would notice there'd always be like this reaction in the crowd when we played In the End. And like I'm a massive Linkin Park fan, and I always loved playing their music. So one thing led to another. It went from like us playing it with like we'd use the intro off the song on a phone, and then cut it off, with the piano, and then start playing. Yeah. And they would just like drop out, there's no fullness. And then after that, I ended up buying like a cheap MIDI version, like a karaoke one, And then after that, I started sourcing, and I found like all the individual stems for In the End, So I remember we were at Mustang Bar one night, and like we ended up playing it. Like when the song came in, even like the singer turned and she like looked and she went, "Whoa," you know what I mean? Like it was massive, like the song sounded so massive, and so that's sort of where it led to that. So I was on my way up to Geraldton playing a gig up there, like 5-hour drive. The band was sleeping in the back of the car. I had like Hybrid Theoryz on it, and I was like, man, I'd love to play this all the time, And so the whole cover thing come to an end, and then I started advertising, and I just remember like just before I press enter, it's like I put an ad up, I need this, blah, 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 and then I'm going to press enter. I was going, oh my God, can I pull this off? You know what I mean? Like, it's a hard thing to pull off, you know, like, you know.
Yeah.
Especially the whole Chester thing is hard to find someone to fill that spot. So I pressed enter and it all started coming together. We couldn't find a bass player, so I ended up calling Jez, because me and Jez have been playing for years together, and like we lock in really well. And Jez plays exactly like the bass player from Linkin Park. I've got a similar style. So, you know, the rhythm section was already there then, and then it was just sort of looking for these guys, you know what I mean? And, So Stevie was the next one in line. Someone recommended him on the chat, so I went to Badlands to watch his band Roses for Ghosts.
The sneaky plug in there.
Yeah. So then, and he blew everyone away, man. Come out with like a Rocky Balboa with gloves on and, you know, out in the crowd in the first song. So I thought, yeah, this is our man, you know. So that was it. Then we started putting it all together. We had a few Chesters come in and that just weren't cutting it. So, Rise, it's your turn to say his part of the story. He nearly didn't even come to audition. So
he was a bit drunk, weren't you, mate?
I haven't heard this.
Had a bit to drink.
So I didn't know these boys, and literally one night I just saw the ad that Zoran put up, which is a bit late in the game, I think, for... You've been through a few guys potentially for ideas and that, and said, do you have what it takes to audition? And I've just always been a big fan of Linkin Park, and I thought, you know what, I'd just love to just go down and just play some of the songs, to be honest, just to have that opportunity to just give
Even your missus was pushing as well, didn't you? Your missus was like telling you to do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, like... Chester stuff is pretty hard to sing, and I think you need to be practicing that style of singing a lot anyway, which I wasn't at the time, but I just recorded literally me over, I think it was crawling in my garage, just like live on my iPhone, sent it to Z. He's like, yep, I'll fit you in amongst, I think we've got about 15 other singers.
Got to keep you on your toes, right?
We're all scheduled, you know. So I roll in and at Hen House, and for like the audition sort of thing, and then did like one song, did two songs. Then it was like, do you know any more? And I'm like, yeah. So then we did about 3 or 4 songs, and then it was kind of like, oh, well, do you want the gig sort of thing? I was like, oh shit, all right, like cool, man. So I took it, and I was like, aren't there any more guys? And then like, no, you're the only one that showed up. So
The other,
got a gig by default, but I definitely put a lot of work into it.
Now, the one thing is, like, Rye rocked up and he actually like blew us away, like, you know what I mean? Just like, you got to have balls to go in and try Chester part, you know what I mean? And that's why I take my hat off to this guy every night, because he gets up there and gives 110%, and that's not an easy task to do, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So after that audition finished, I just remember, because I recorded it and on my camera or something, you know, and I was driving home from the hen house, live south of the river, so I put this recording on and I was listening in the car, and I was going, holy shit, man, it's like, it sounds, you know, something you could have a rehearsal, you're recording, you go, oh, you know, it doesn't sound right, or no, we won't play that song, you know, cover band, you know, but as soon as I heard the recordings, I went, nah, there's something there, you know, straight away, like, from dot one, it was just like, you could hear it, you know what I mean? And so
we can pull it off.
Yeah, we could pull it off. Everyone's got the sound. Everyone plays exactly like them. Yep. And I just knew from that day that, yeah, we're onto something hard, you know. But look, we had a different lineup back then. I was different guitarists. Things didn't work out, you know. People were on different wavelengths,
Yep.
Yeah, our second guitarist, Jakey, Rose for Ghost.
Yeah, Rose for Ghost.
Rose for Ghost, shout out to Shane, Jake. Yeah, unfortunately he had to go work away, and like, you know, so we had to sort of pull the pin on it. And yeah, so our new axeman is Rafi.
Raphael, he's a Ninja Turtle. Got you turned up in the jam session like a ninja.
So he's from Grenade Brain, so he's from
sick, man. Sick. Yeah, I had Jay on a couple of weeks ago and listened to one of the tracks.
He does all our recording. He's awesome.
Shout out to Oracle.
There's a 6 degrees of separation to everything because I'm part of Ashes of Autumn, who spoke to Mel.
Shameless shout out.
Plug. May as well get everyone out, get all the connections out while we're on the topic.
As opposed, like we are in Perth, right? Like it's just one big family, you know. It's it's also crazy how everybody sort of seems to be interconnected one way or the other here, which you guys are a perfect example of.
Well, we have got Electric State supporting us on our next gig, so like those boys are like really good friends of ours.
Yep.
So.
There again. Yeah.
They got their shirt on here, just from the boys.
Oh, yeah. Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There again, yeah. Phenomenal live band. Yeah, I met Soran down at their video launch a couple of weeks back. Yeah, it's like amazing live band.
Yeah, Rob's definitely one of a kind.
But they all pull it off, man. Like it's really, really strong songs as well. Not that we're going to talk Electric State tonight, so we're gonna. But obviously, yeah. So we will get back to the gig at the end, and we'll do a bit of shout out for that as well. But sort of in regards to when you started, so when was this that you sort of got all together? I think you meant, was it October 2018? You mentioned.
October was our
first. It was October or November. That was the first Newport gig.
Yeah, our first gig.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was October 2018. But that was probably 6 months in the making.
Yeah.
Getting it all prepared, you know.
So 6 months of doing backing tracks and rehearsing.
Yeah.
And you had to cancel the other 14 singers as well. So that was a bit of cancellation emails. And so how did is it Stevie, the other singer?
What's up?
How did you enter the picture?
Oh well, I was just playing a gig at Badlands where we're playing fucking like what? Oh, that's what I'm sorry. Oh, we're playing next month or something. Yeah, so we're playing next month. I was just playing at Badlands and like he was there. And I was this like tall guy with like look dressed like a basketball player in the crowd, and I was like, "You remember me?" And I'm like, "No." And then he was like, "Oh, Linkin Park band." And then yeah, we came and rehearsed. Yeah, we jammed out, and it's pretty easy because the rapping's pretty easy. So you know, to be a bit of an idiot if you can't do that, you just turn up and have fun. So it all worked out, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man.
Yeah.
So you got headhunted.
Pretty much, yeah. Just rocked up, saw him in the crowd, this big tall guy with one of his other friends, Dario or something.
Yeah, Dario.
Looking for younger men.
You remember me? And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I went to his house and
Trust me.
Yeah, then jammed it out, and all sounded cool.
You weren't you weren't scared they were there to sort of try and like you owed them some drug money or something and like.
I did, but they let it go.
I want to touch his butt, but he wouldn't let me.
Yeah. No, that was all cool, Yeah, we just jammed out and got lit, and that was pretty much it.
Fantastic, man.
I know if you have Stevie's a phenomenal front man. Like he's definitely the life of the band,
Oh, thanks.
But you know what? Actually, I'll touch on the subject. Like, we've always decided not to try like be Linkin Park or like look like them or dress like them. You know what I mean? Like our character, like look at him, like he can't pull off a Mike Shinoda. Like
he kind of looks similar. Like people do say like
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie's one crazy mofo, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, you can't suppress him. He's like the catalyst in our band, you know what I mean? Like even when he's not singing, he's always working the crowd or, being like the hype man. So,
yeah.
So like, it'd be very hard for us to sort of like dress like, Mike Shinoda and stuff like that. So we decided like not to do the whole dress up thing or whatever, we just get up there, we play it hard and we play it well, and we always play with a lot of energy, whether it's 10 people or 100, 2,000 or whatever, it's always
just pay homage, vibes.
Yeah
100%. Pay homage and just have fun, like I rap, so I don't have to bother about singing in key. He has to like stay still and sing like Chester, so he has to focus, but I can just go and like run around the crowd, so hype everyone up, and you see people standing still, it's like, what are you doing? Move around,
That's it, man. You're the crowd police.
Podiums and like crowd surf, and then like you're at work the next week and you have like back
knock
pains.
over all our drinks on the stage.
Yeah, knock over all the drinks. So yeah, it's just good fun.
Step on guitar cables and break them in the bloody pedals.
And there's songs that like don't even have rapping in them, so I just run around the whole time, like don't even have to sing. So you just have fun, yeah.
Right, so that's like a free ride for you.
Experience and film it on my phone and
there's definitely a lot of energy on our shows. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Look, but in regards to sort of like playing live, you obviously you run sort of a pretty cool production, like when you're looking at the live side of things. Like you could tell by that Newport gig, like you have all your screens and like I noticed your drum kit had a couple of lights in it as well as stuff. So you have that really big visual factor as well. So sort of from like a business perspective, like how much is it actually to pull a gig of this caliber off? Because it's something else like just playing in a normal cover band.
You're talking about, like, obviously Newport, that screen's there and the lighting's there, but that's the production we're going to bring to every show. So that was sort of what kicked it off for us. Like the bonus to playing to click and backing tracks is that we can time code all our shows. And for all of you out there that don't know what these time code is, when we can choreograph the lighting to the song, you know. So if you're playing a song live without a backing track, it's very hard to do. So we sort of started small, like doing some visuals first, and then that's gone one thing to another, and now it's like we just want to go full steam ahead with it. You know, like we want to put on a production that no one else is doing in Perth.
Bring a big truck along full of gear and unload it on the stage. Pretty much. Big television screens.
The production that we're putting together is bigger than pretty much any national act we'll have here. You know what I mean? So
I'll put it this way: we played Bunbury once, and Zoran literally drove a truck down. Literally a truck.
Wow.
There was no drum riser. He's like, "Hey, I'll make a drum riser." And then we have our own staging for us, for me and Stevie and the guys to get up on at the front, our own lighting, the screens. So yeah, Bunbury was literally a truck.
Yeah, but see, again, that was hired back then. So that's the point where we as a band, we turn around and says, it's like renting. You know, renting's dead money, isn't it? So we've decided to invest the production money back into the band. And then we've purchased the lighting ourselves now, so that it's ours. And then, so every show we have got our own lighting, our own production. So it's been invested back in the band. So that's where it becomes a business, and that's where like Hybrid Productions comes into it. Which 6 months ago I didn't know nothing about lighting. I didn't know how to turn a light on. And then 6 months later, I'm doing production for Gyroscope. So you know.
Research is done.
I'm a quick learner. I'm a sound engineer as well, so I know the sound side of things. And then I was doing shows. Everyone wants lighting at a show, so again, so that's where the lighting comes into it. But I never thought I'd take it to the level I already have. Even doing the time coding is not an easy feat to do, and I've already sussed it all out. Or I'm starting to put the shows together now. So you actually haven't seen us at 100% yet. You only actually seen us at 50%. So,
wow.
So our show's going to be massive. And I'm talking like everything's like within milliseconds. And, you can black out the stage and then come into No More Sorrow and the snare hits without counting in. And it's going to be, everything's going to be like synchronized. And people will walk away from the shows and just like be bedazzled,
Yeah, fantastic.
I think that's important. If you want people to come back to your shows, you need them walking away and just going, wow, like it's got to be in your face, So the band isn't just a band only; it's also production. Production is a big key to a band, without production, you can't be at full potential. Like same as if you have got a crap sound guy, like you could play well on stage, but the sound guy could make you sound bad. So it's production is very important.
I think we made that decision early on too, because like if you watch Linkin Park, even from the early days, like their production was like next level. The lighting, the screens, staging, everything, and like we just figured pretty early on, like we don't want to just rock up to a gig and have a couple of like a red light and a green light just standing there, and then we'll just play. Like we want to really have a visual experience as well as the music,
But again,
I've got enough lighting. I've got more lighting than like the Rosemel, some of these big venues have in Perth. That's what how capable we are, you know. So.
No cap.
But that sounds like, but that to me sounds like a massive financial outlay. So obviously you need to play a lot of gigs to sort of make that money back.
Yeah. Do you want me to interject? Yeah, just on that note, like, I think I'll speak for you for a bit, sorry. So I think a lot of like the production side of things is definitely a testament to Zoran's sort of vision to try and make a local show, maybe not using the kind of bucks that they have to make their show, but make it possible to do a show on the same scale as them on like a relatively small budget. Like it helps that Zoran's got a job in the mines, so he can be the benefactor for most of these sort of things. But that's it, to answer the financial question. I think it's part us giving like a cut of the what we make from the gig and donating it back to just saying what do we need moving forward to make the show better.
Yeah.
So that's like, you know, it comes from just having that vision to sort of try and make the shows, like even if they're just small shows in a small venue, as big as possible. Like every show's an arena show.
Yeah. Well, what sort of I don't know if you can say ambitions, but what sort of scale are you looking at to sort of to potentially take the band? Because at the moment, like if you're only playing Perth and only playing, I know you played Singapore. I'm looking forward to hearing about that later. But in regards to sort of playing the smaller stages, what sort of upscale ability have you got there, and where you're sort of looking to potentially take it after? You know, with all the gear.
Well, look, we're definitely going to tour the East Coast. That's definitely on the cards. My plan is to actually take our equipment over, so load it up in a container and send it over. You know, people are going, oh, why would you do that? I said, it doesn't cost much to put stuff in a container, you know, so send it to Adelaide, do a show in Adelaide, keep the stuff in storage and go to Melbourne. So that's the logistics. That's the vision I've got, you know.
Yeah.
Because for us to do the show that we want to do, it has to be our equipment, because everything is time-coded and triggered and programmed from our software to our lighting. So basically, if we went and played Max Watts in Melbourne and used their lighting guide, it's what you call busking. So busking means that the lighting guide doesn't know your music, but he just presses lights as you're playing. You know what I mean? And like, so even like when you hit a chorus, you know, they're always, you know, half a beat out or whatever, you know. So for me to be able to do the show, and I'm talking, I've done 6 months of work on lighting already. Like it's been a massive feat. So if we want to bring our show and you want to see our production, it has to be our equipment, you know. So so it's not hard, because like, look, I'm in the mining industry, always send stuff up to the mines and containers. So I know what it's like. The business side I really know, because I've had a business for 12 years, so I know how it works running a business and all that kind of stuff, whereas a lot of bands don't sort of know that sort of side of, or running the band as a business, you know. So my vision is to do like what I just said, like, you know, I'll put the stuff in a container and we'll go to the East Coast, or even if we go play Geraldton or Kalgoorlie, you're going to be blown away. It's going to be like the biggest production you've ever seen. And when you set about size of venue, I'll make it fit. You know what I mean? Like,
I think another thing has been like communication about making the sacrifices for the rewards, and like it's certainly paid off. If we didn't do what we did earlier, we wouldn't have got Singapore, and you know that boosted our band massively financially and you know, just out there in the world. But I think we've all had to kind of have that talk and say, like, where are we willing to take this? What are we willing to sacrifice? Do we want to just play small gigs
and take all the money and
take a cut and then just stay there forever, or do we want to take this to the next
be like
level?
any other band, you know, like you play Amplify, and then the next band next weekend, it looks exactly the same because it's the same production. So we don't want to be that. We never did want to be like when we played Amplify, we brought in 3 metre by 2 metre screens. Like no one had ever seen that in the venue, you know. And so that's going to be us at every gig now. So like I said, we're going to bring you like what a national act will bring to your gigs, you know. So that's our vision.
Yeah.
But we also want to do, like I said, Geraldton, Kalgoorlie, and, you know, or down Bunbury and whatever. We do all that. But every show we play is going to be massive, you know. There's never going to be a dull moment. It's going to be in your face all the time. So we got visuals as well. Don't forget that, you know. So,
yeah.
So it's like it's just visuals, lighting, and sound, you know.
But so, I mean, maybe we should run over and have a chat to that Singapore gig now, because I'm sort of curious to see if that is something that would potentially be in the cards as well, to try and play maybe not Southeast Asia, but overseas in general, because that obviously would bring a whole other logistic issue. You know, if you have to sort of start bringing your own gig and have that shipped overseas as well. How was the Singapore gig laid out with regards to your visuals? Because that was quite impressive as well.
Well, we've got a lighting tech as well who's sort of taken us to this level. Shout out Dean Gratwick. Yeah. Dean Gratwick. He's what's his what they called beat match. So the way I got onto Dean was at the Amplify. He was on like a Pantera tribute night, and his lighting was phenomenal. So he does like Birds of Tokyo, Carnival. You know, so he's a really talented lighting technician. So he's been the one sort of that got us started and got us like our production to next level than everyone else. So he come with us on tour to Singapore. So he was our lighting tech over there. So he was in charge of our lighting tech and visuals. So we had our own guy. We didn't use, you know, whoever was at the festival. That was put in the plan, in the contract.
And he worked his ass off.
Yeah, he worked his butt off.
He was there all day.
I take my hat off to him.
Getting his head around the system. We had 2 different stages for 2 different nights, and literally he was just there all day working his ass off, you know. So big credit to Dean.
Yeah.
But so I was about to say, but so let's have a chat about the actual gig. How did that happen? And to begin with, like how did you land that gig?
So look, first of all, like we're from day one knew that promo is a must. So even our promo video you see, that's our first gig. So we knew to multi-cam it and whatever, we get a good promo. So I think from day one we've always had, to everyone out there, promo is important, very important. So put money back in promo. So we decided to get good promo straight away, and then we built it up to a point where like the band looked bigger than what it was. You know what I mean? Like as in a way that we played Singapore on our 5th gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
right.
We went international, and the way that all come about was there's a festival over there. It's called Beer Fest Asia, and like in Singapore, their rock culture is massive. Like it's not like, you know, we do Beer Fest here and we're doing like acoustic gig with fairy lights, you know. So you know, over there they love their rock. Like everywhere you go. So I think they put an ad up, like, you know, which tribute would you like to get? And a few people started putting Linkin Park, you know. So apparently one of the event organisers, they just Googled, you know, Linkin Park tribute, you know, and we popped up. So, you know, and then, you know, our promo video come up, and it was enough for them to go, wow, check this out. So I got a message, you know, like, hey, how would you like to come play Singapore? So, okay, you know, wow, you know. And then can you send us a bit more footage? So I sent a bit more footage. It was like, there was a point there where like we got a lot of swearing, and Steve's like, you know. So like, do I edit it out or do I not? You know. So I end up leaving it in there because, you know, it is what it is. You know, you take it or leave it. And they were really interested. Then they got us on board. Like I'm talking like writing up like performance contracts, and you know, like it was like legitimate stuff. So that's how that came about. They searched us and they found us and they've seen enough there. And you got to think that's our 5th gig to go international, you know. And so we were ecstatic, man. Like, you know, couldn't believe it. And like to get onto the trip, like, you know, it was
next level.
It was a trip of a lifetime, man. Honestly, if I never played again, like tomorrow, like I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like honestly,
you look back on that gig and be like, oh man, I'm glad we did that.
It's a whole new
I don't
world.
think any of us have done that before, so it just felt like the real deal.
It was like the stage we played on was like something that Linkin Park would have played on, you know. And we got treated like that start to finish, like VIPs, like, you know, your itineraries, you know, the driver, hotel rooms, be there.
Had a stalker. Hotel.
You look like that's
a good sales story. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So then, like, you know, this was like a big thing, like, you know, especially like, I guess we're like pinching ourselves a lot, you know, like you know, 5 gigs in and we're playing international, you know.
And like this festival, we're going to do like a radio interview for it. We think it's going to be like,
wow,
you know, a cheap little hobby radio thing, and it's the biggest radio station in Singapore. Like, we're there for an hour. We get to meet all their executives and all that, and get treated like rock stars there. And then on the way back, we're listening to our interview in the taxi driver on his radio by chance. And then we go back to the hotel, and then it's on in the hotel. So,
but the same day, it was impromptu. Like, we were sitting there, we're like, what can we do? And we're like, someone, he's got a guitar, and like, they ended up bringing an acoustic guitar. So we just go, no, we'll play a song live for you. And then we ended up like doing In the End live on the acoustic, Then he starts freestyle rapping at the end, and it was like stuff like that. It was just amazing.
Yeah, that's the whole vibe. They didn't put it on radio because it was too heavy, though. They didn't actually air it.
Yeah.
It's not funny. Too much
the rapping part at the end. But
the rapping part at the end.
But yeah, this company that run Beer Fest is super professional. Like,
it sounds like it, yeah.
It's such a great festival to go to. Like,
I think we should do a shout out to Danny Lung. Like, he's the event organizer, and like that was a well organized event. Like everything was like clockwork. And Jermaine, thanks for picking us out and believing in us. So big shout out to them too, because they believed in us, and we come up and we rocked it out. It's like. And like, what was that about the beer? They go, they always give us extra beer. And I says, what's going on with the beer? Like, it's always stocked up, For other bands that kept running around or whatever. And she goes, we know that you Australians like to drink, Our beer,
nice.
Like just getting filled up, And it's like,
it's a beer fest.
Yeah, it's a beer fest. So like we'd play our gigs and we'd go out to like 5, 6 in the morning. And like we'd tell them the next day, I couldn't believe it. You're like, you got to be professional, but us Aussies, we just party, We're like,
the sad thing was though that SQ was always full because we weren't drinking when we were playing. I think we were pretty onto it from the start. Like, let's not mess this up and let's be professional.
Yeah.
After, but the festival was only open for like another half hour to an hour after that, So, but yeah, they looked after us, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really. But it's start to finish that there was action non-stop. From the moment we got to the airport till when we left, there was never a dull moment. So. Like even on the plane, like because a charter flight, and like I've got a big bottle of Kraken, and
it wasn't even yours.
No,
all right, let me tell this story.
Sorry. Did you have a charter flight?
Charter flight, yeah. They did a charter flight. Yeah, it was a charter flight.
I said to the boys, like, in Singapore, alcohol's really expensive, so let's load up at duty free. The other guitarist that was in the band, I think he was a bit light on cash at the time, but he still managed to do it. He bought a big bottle of Kraken. We get on the flight, and then somehow Z gets his hands on Sonny Jim's Kraken. You can just see, like, every bit it goes down, Sonny Jim's just like, oh no, that's my drink. But he was absolutely maggot because we'd had about 15 beers beforehand.
He threw up in the bathroom.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't that. It's like because it was a chartered flight. They didn't have like proper service. You couldn't get Coke and stuff, so it was just like water or orange juice. So me and him were like drinking Kraken with water, and we get to see half the bottle was like 1 litre, and we're back. And then we go out after or so after that. Well, we got to see we're already going out, but yeah, it's just.
And then what's like?
It's like,
yeah.
Is that like how long is the flight?
I can't remember.
5 hours, yeah.
And long story short, we were still professional.
Yeah.
Of course.
Despite the Kraken.
Nice, man. So how long were you over there for? Because I think you mentioned before that you were playing two stages.
Yeah, 2 nights. So we
4 days or
4 days all up, I think.
Yeah, 4 nights. But
we pretty much got 1 day off, really. We flew in, played the next day, but that also involved going to the venue for like a pre-gig sound check and set up
radio
interviews at like 12 o'clock or sort of thing. So back and forth to the venue constantly, and then really we just got like 1 day off, which we were super lucky to have. But it was flat out like radio interviews, all the meetings with the managers there, and even going through the contracts with them of like, don't climb on this, don't climb on that, don't let Stevie do this thing.
You're not allowed to climb on the air cons. What does Stevie do? Climbs on the air con.
You're allowed to go in the crowd, then you can go in the crowd. Yeah, good fun. Yeah.
So in regards to the sort of scalability of that festival, there, like who else were were playing there? Because I'm assuming, like, just judging at the photos, I've been running some of the photos here while we were talking about it.
They always get 2 international headliners.
Okay.
Yeah, the other headliner was
Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells from America. It's an all chick one. It's an all chick. But these, they're like a massive professional. Like, they do it full time. Like, they do like they were saying like boat cruises. You know, the cruise ships and
Yeah.
all year they tour. Like,
That's their full-time.
that's their full-time job. But they're pros. They're very pro musos. You know, it's so that was the 2. So the first night we did the main stage headline. They played on the side stage, and then the second night we did the side stage. They did the main stage.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the rest of it, was that local bands or South Asia bands, or?
A few cover bands there, actually.
So there was
like 5 or 6 big cover bands each night.
There was another international band that did Journey called Perfect Strangers.
Strangers, yeah, from India.
Amazing. And then another, I think Singapore's basically best cover band called Peep Show.
Yep. Shout out to Peep Show.
Unbelievable band. So they like kind of rule that rock cover scene, you know, and they did a Guns N' Roses and Slash and a bit of Velvet Revolver for like a whole set. And we were just like blown away by them. We actually got them up.
We got them up on the stage for In the End with us, you know, so
because
they didn't want to do it. It's like, it's your show, blah, blah, blah. We said, nah, man, we say it, we do it. You know what I mean? That's how Aussies are like, you know, we go with the flow, you know. So, you know, our biggest song that we play In the End is like the biggest crowd pleaser. And we got their best cover band in Singapore up. We gave them the mics, you know what I mean? And like, that's just how it is with us. We just go with the flow of things, you know. We're good. It was an epic night, you know. So
I mean, they're great people. Like, Alif Putra is like the best guitarist in Singapore, I think. And we met him before we watched them play. Didn't know who he was. Was like super nice to us. Showed us around. Met the rest of his band. And they get up and play, and it's like, oh, holy shit. And then
this guy can play guitar, man. Oh, my
and then we speak to everyone, and they're like,
Nice.
yeah, these guys are a big deal, you know.
like, he's endorsed. I think he's like, I don't know. I know their guitarist is fully endorsed, like with Fractal or some. I don't know. He's endorsed something, but he's like a guitar god over there, you know, like so.
Like Slash level.
Yeah, he's
like
unbelievable. Like,
Oh,
we
wow.
take it out there, like, we're at the front just going, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, amazing musician. And say that
so down to earth.
and across the whole board, Singapore has got amazing musos everywhere. But we'll lead this into the next one. Like, so we end up meeting like our good friends from Rockwell over there. Like, they're
The original rock band. But they do covers as well. So the first night we went out, we saw them playing, and they're playing all the songs we want to see when we go to a pub. But it doesn't get done in Perth, you know. Like, oh, man.
White Snake and, you know, just like Bon Jovi songs, like random ones, like, you know, not
Heavy stuff.
like heavy. Like, it was like killer to watch, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, we were just spending the whole night there watching them, got to know them, and then they just ended up taking us under their wing, like showing us around Singapore. The nicest people you can imagine. And,
Yeah. So we want to try to get them over here because they actually got a massive following, and like they're one of the hardest working original acts over there. But so what happened was after we did our headlining show, we ended up going out. We ended up going out after, so they took us under their wing. They take us out. So where we going? You know? So it's like, oh yeah, they're right to us. So we're going to a place called Orchid Towers, you know, during the day. But when you get there, it's called. What's it called?
You remember what it's called.
It's called Five Floors of Whores. So this
What is it called? Sorry.
5 floors of whores. 4 floors of whores. 4 floors of whores. All right. So like we ended up going out and like they took us to this place and it was like it's 4 levels of these little dive bars everywhere and
there's bands in
mate.
Like some of the bars were no bigger than this room, and some of the best bands you can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm playing like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
What else? Oh man.
Just every like the
That's so crazy, man. Because you never think. Oh, I would never think about that when you're talking about Singapore. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why, but it doesn't strike me as somewhere where they would go nuts to all the all the heavy stuff.
We started there, and it's like this one bar. You know, it's like this size. It's these guys like absolutely nailing it on a stage, like no bigger than this table in front of us, like just crammed in. amazing musicians. There's probably 10 people there.
Yeah, but chick singer, like nailing all these guy songs.
And they're playing there for like till 5 o'clock in the morning. And then, you go to the next one and it's like the same thing again. And then we go to like another one that's a bit bigger, a bit more upmarket for the venue place. And they're playing like System of a Down. They did a Linkin Park song, like Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine. And this is like your general nightclubs that people go to, and the general bars that people go to, and that's the music they get into. So
nice.
It's just an amazing place. The scene over there, the music is.
Yeah. But again, the folks from Brockwell treat us like they took us under their wing, and amazing people. So big shout out to them, because they didn't have to do it. But they took us out, showed us all around, made sure we were safe. Even they kept us safe as well. Like when we'll go to the toilet at this place, like one of the members would always follow one of our members to the toilet, make sure they're safe because it can get a bit dodgy here and there. So it was like stuff like that. They made us feel welcome and safe. And that's what really stands out. And like we are planning on going back to Singapore. We made a lot of contacts over there. So we're definitely, once this COVID thing goes away. I've definitely got contacts that we can get gigs, and Rockwell will definitely be playing on our bill. Yeah,
wicked, man. So would there be any other potential gigs you could do in other countries in Southeast Asia?
Well, BFS does, just BFS alone now, does China and Indonesia, and they do that similar concept in all those places. But in Asia, as you know, mate, the music scene over there is like... It's next level. Like I said, people go to watch cover bands to watch heavy metal.
Yeah, I've already had people. I've had people from Philippines. We get a lot of people writing to us, like inboxing us. Even from over east, a lot of people inboxing us when are we coming and this and that. But I think Philippines is definitely going to be on the cards because, like, you even look at the Philippine chat, like Linkin Park chat over there, just massive, like every day, just bang, 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 bang. So you sort of know there's a massive following there. So even in Australia, there's not even a big Linkin Park fan page. So,
well, I suppose like the biggest letdown with Australia is the logistic issue. Like the country is so big, there's hardly any people, and
China can't fix.
Yeah, but then again, it's more money, so it adds more to the production cost and to ultimately how much you would need to charge at the other end.
Yeah, but you still need to hire it at the other end too. If you're going to do a massive reduction. So.
Yeah, true. But so in regards to sort of some of the contacts overseas, so how do you sort of nurture those contacts? Is that online? Is that something where you're reaching out to them, or?
You know what? It just comes to us being Aussies and being friendly. That's what it always come down to. Everywhere we went, we were like bowing to the bands. You know what I mean? Like everywhere we went,
literally,
we're getting maggot, and then we're like praising the bands, and then we get talking. Like there's no egos with us. Like we praise the band, and then we start talking to the managers and stuff like that off the venues, and that one thing led to another. And like one manager, I won't go specific, but he was one of the brewing companies at the Beer Fest Asia. And so they run a massive venue over there. So I've already got a contact there. So we could quite easily get gigs over there. Like they were very impressed with our act. So I definitely think we're going back to Singapore, like 100%. Like there's no doubt about that.
And a lot of them we still just chat to online. Just we've become friends on Facebook and that. And especially the Singapore bands, like they're going through a tough time with COVID. All the venues are shut down. A lot of these bands, like that's the sole income. Like that's all they do for work. So when you take out being able to play gigs, then they're not got any money coming in.
But even sucks, man.
They're still putting out music videos
weekly.
Every week. Every
one of the hardest working acts that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wow. So are they putting out music videos every week?
Yeah. Originals and covers. Yeah. Because they just want to keep going at it, And that's a work ethic I think we learned when we were over there, and we've started to want to put into this band as well.
I think there's no doubt about work ethics in general in like a lot of Asian countries is next level compared to a lot of Western countries.
It's funny,
but that's
like when they've got a big international hub like that. That's why they have to be as good as they are, because there's a lot of competition over there. Whereas when you get like Perth, I've heard people say from Melbourne, like bands from Perth would go over to Melbourne, and Melbourne people would be like, bands that come from Perth are just really tight and look like they've worked really hard. And I think it's because of that isolation factor. It just means everyone puts in a lot more so that when they do get out and finally start playing out of Perth, they just blow everyone away.
It's just so crazy. Again, like talking about Perth and Perth bands. It's like you can't logistically really gig anywhere else except if you go up to Geraldton or if you go down to say Bunbury and stuff. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So that was big bucks to get out of Perth.
Look at us now. We're the luckiest in Australia. Like pretty much, we're one of the only states that has still got live gigs happening to a good level.
100%. Like at the moment in the current climate with COVID, so fortunate.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So fortunate. Yeah.
So before we get up to the Singapore subject, I've got to tell you one story. So we end up doing this like radio interview, whatever, So it's our names all over the radio, blah blah blah, and so we end up getting back to the hotel room. So pull up in this van, we get out of this van. So we get out, we'll stumble out of the van, we get into the reception lobby, and this guy just runs up out of nowhere, right? And he's going, oh my God, are you Stevie Ray?
But we thought, when this guy rushed over and had a camera and everything, we were like, oh, here we go, Hybrid Theoryz, we're super popular, and he's like pushed past us and he's like, oh my God, are you Stevie Ray? Oh my God, I have you on Instagram.
Nice.
I said, so you want a photo? And he goes, no, only with you. This guy gets a photo with Stevie, like on his own, It's just hilarious. We were like standing there, like, what do we know?
Just you?
Yeah, just you.
Oh man,
had nothing to do with us.
So I end up running up to him after the shot. I picked him up and we jumped in the photo. It's like we're throwing him up and down. But that was definitely hilarious.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, I used Stevie Ray.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I see just random stuff like that.
Anyway, Stevie Ray, big in Asia.
No worries.
That's awesome, man.
Stevie was definitely a hit over there, like over in Singapore. Like everywhere we went, like
tell them about a day off.
Stevie was a magnet. Like honestly, like everywhere, like a magnet. Like people would just like draw into him. So we go to on our day off, we go to Waterbomb Park. Oh, not Waterbomb. Sentosa Islands, which
Sentosa,
is like
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we end up walking around. So he's tatted from his head down, full like all horror stuff, So the whole day, he's walking around and the kids just mortified, mortified. They haven't seen this before, So we're just running amok, throwing each other around, blah, blah, blah. So we're in this big wave pool, And again, he just walk out, people just couldn't believe it. People, kids are getting out of the water and getting scared of him, Get out of the water. And I was like, oh, come here. It's like
that's awesome, man.
So they start doing this water aerobics and
they got a DJ and a guy with a microphone.
Yeah, two stairs, they do the exact. So I'm thinking, so I walked up, I said, hey, I says, we're from, the Hybrid Theoryz, we just did Beer Fest Asia. I says, we've got a boy here, he can rap, really well, that's his thing. So he goes, so what do you want me to do about it? I says, well, put on like Eminem or something and give him the mic. And he's like, oh yeah, all right, we'll do it. So they put on, what's the song? They put on Lose Yourself,
Yeah.
And then he grabs the mic, mate, and he just starts taking over this pool. And I'm not talking in one spot, I'm talking takes over, He's running around, jumping around, everyone just getting in. He's
in a massive pool, just rapping and with a wireless microphone running around and
There's actually footage on our Facebook page. I put it up,
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, you check it out. You'll see it. So he's getting everyone going, and then he's running around and jumping off stuff, but. There was stuff like that, you just couldn't make it up, But, me being the business side of things, knowing if I get the footage off it, it's good for the band. I'm always one step ahead like that. But again, on last night, so we ended up saying, oh, this is it, it's our last night. Let's just go out for dinner. We've been drinking since Thursday. Let's just have a quiet night with the best wings in Singapore.
Yeah.
And
nice.
So we end up getting out of this restaurant, we walk in, there's like a cover band playing across the road in Europe.
That's it.
So we go, come, let's go for a drink, you know. So we end up going for a drink. We start drinking. One thing led to another, same thing again. Like, you know, we're in front of the stage, and I end up showing the person on my phone. I said, look, this is us from Australia, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, last song, you know. So the place went from, like, pretty mild, like, you know, like not even people, like, fully getting into it. And I get these two guys up on the mic, play In the End. The whole place was just, like, going nuts, man, nuts, you know. So that's what I mean, like, it's a magnet, you know, like with, especially Stevie, like, he just draws people in, and
brings people together.
That's like a big key factor to our band. That's the catalyst in our band right there. Not saying take away from anywhere else, but you can't replace this guy, you know, and there's no denying it, you know. So
is anyone
it's shown 100% showmanship.
I was about to say I finally found the video now, so I'm showing that as we speak here. Let's see, that is.
Could you imagine being there like that? Like just out of the blue, like a guy like that? Because you know, even there, they don't really see much of that. And this guy's got like you know, Freddy Krueger and all like. Oh, it's like.
Yeah, I got all the horror movie characters, so you got like the It the Clown and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a whole new thing for the kids over there.
Yeah. They sort of had to mature very, very quickly there. You're sort of jumping around there, talking to a bunch of, or singing to a bunch of kids in safety vest.
Overall, like Singapore was like, yeah, again, amazing experience. Like, you know, I think we're all pinching ourselves that we got to do it. It was good to learn on the business side of things how it all works. Like, you know, I dealt with the business. I managed the band, and so I really learned more about writing up contracts and what's involved with riders and you know, like our per diems, you know. So business side of things was a good learning curve for me as well.
Oh, for sure. And again, like the whole experience, like I'm sure there'd be a lot of amazing memories in the memory bank there.
I still get goosebumps. Like honestly, every time I watch like that new Divide, it's a pity we couldn't get better footage off. We actually, like, on the main stage, we had a camera strapped to these aircon things, like, because it's so humid. They had these like massive aircons, but they had like all 18-inch subs, so the footage just go, you know. And like on our rider, it says like, you know, you're not allowed to go into the crowd. You're not allowed to climb on the railing. You're like, first song, this guy's like on top of the aircon.
Yeah, I climbed on the aircon and was
oh my god! And then the second night they're going, Stevie's not allowed in the crowd. It was like, come on, you know what I mean? It's like, no, he's not allowed in the crowd. And like last minute, she walked up to me like, you know, like the production manager or the, you know,
clipboard folder.
Yeah, she had a clipboard folder. And she's like, no, us just come on. You gotta let him out. That's our whole thing.
You're allowed in the crowd now.
Yeah. We're like 2 minutes before we play, she's like, okay, you're allowed in the crowd. Stevie got the whole
nice.
Crowd. But you know what's funny is like, because we had the camera strapped on his aircon, in one of the songs he jumps up on the aircon, so like Stevie's face is like this right in front of the camera.
His face.
Oh my god!
The aircon unit's here, and I'm like singing, and it's right on my dick.
No, but these aircon units are like 2 meters high, like, you know. So he's up on top of this thing.
It's like dick cam.
That gives the whole term multi-angle a whole new meaning right there.
Like, they'll say like, you know, one song left, and we just kept playing like 3, 4, 5 songs, you know. But you couldn't control us, you know. It was just we're in the moment, and it is what it is. But saying that, you know, when we finished, like you know, people crying, man. Like, people calling me at the side of stage. I was getting out drumsticks, and it was really surreal, you know. Like, it was amazing they can have that impact on the crowd. But we even get that here, you know, like, because, like I was telling you, we don't do the whole try to be like Linkin Park, but we do a tribute to Chester in our set, which is like a video, and it really gets emotional at times for the crowd, you know. Because I sit there and watch looking out, and like, you can see people crying, and so it's a big thing. And like one thing we do always raise at our shows, like we raise awareness for mental health and suicide. That's been the key thing for me, us starting the band. Like we like to raise, if we can use music as our platform to raise awareness, you know, that's what we do. We do it at every show.
Awesome.
You know, when you have someone hit you up saying like, I was going through a bad time, but just you guys even saying it's all right to talk about it, and just putting it out there has got me in a better place. I won't go into too much.
Yeah, we get inboxed a lot.
Some pretty deep messages from people, and just even one of those to make a difference is like a pretty huge for a bunch of guys.
Massive,
just a cover band essentially. That's all we are. Like we're not Linkin Park. We're just a cover band, really.
But you're still like a catalyst. Like you're still like the messenger. Like you're bringing it. You're bringing the music to people, and it's funny.
We do mean it too. Do you know what I mean? Like like everyone has been affected. I've had a very close parent of mine commit suicide. Through mental health, so it's a big thing for me, and I'm sure each one of us has had, in some way, been touched like that, So, if you can reach out to someone with your music, and like you said, even if it's just one person, it's very important to us. Like, you can speak for anyone who's come to our shows, you'll see, like we always bring it up. Like Ryan does an acoustic set after the Chester tribute and always reaches out to everyone. There's been times where I've stopped the show and jumped up on the cordless mic, and you know what I mean. It's just there's no, our shows are just like that. We play by feel. It's
and that's how we met. Dino, you had Dino on. The other week. We met him, an amazing guy. We chatted to him all night, and then what he's done since then. And I guess just actually talking about it, you meet these people that are willing to make a difference as well, and it blows your mind,
Yeah. Oh, like his story is sensational.
Amazing,
Crazy. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny how music is such a powerful drug almost. Like it's like you can use it for therapy. You also have a lot of people, a lot of artists again who might suffer from a bit of anxiety, depression stuff. We use that as the outlet to sort of to let go of some of the dark thoughts or bad phases that you go through in life as well. But yeah, it's so amazing to hear to get that feedback from people. I think actually a lot of the old Linkin Park songs as well, like before that happened, had the same effect. So to a lot of people as well.
Yeah, amplified it even. Just like I think that's part of what doing the whole Linkin Park thing is that because of Chester's unfortunate suicide, it has sort of brought up the really clear mental sort of background behind all of the music. So I think part of what draws people into it, especially the people in town that might be, just going through depression or anything like that, they will come to our show because it's a great outlet for them to feel like they have someone to talk to.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, actually.
That's the beautiful thing about Linkin Park, what it's done for people, what it's done for just mental awareness over the world.
Yeah.
We're not counselors or anything, but we've had people that are, down in the dumps, and we'll just chat to them on our messenger, and then to see them come from where they are to, they come through to the other side and they're happy people again, and they're not in such a dark place, and it's just great. And then we get to see them all the time,
Wow.
And guys in particular, I think guys find it really hard to talk about this kind of thing. And I think that's what we try to push at our show a lot as well, is not to be shy about it. There's no reason not to talk about those sort of things. And if you
just reach out. There is help. That's
huge responsibility, man. For to be sort of like a person or a band that somebody is happy to confide in, and for you guys to take on that responsibility as well.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility. And I mean, these two especially, because I think they do a lot of the discussing with people that do reach out, and I'm just sitting back and just admiring the effort that they go to talk to these people and console these people. And it's that sort of thing that's hard for people that don't necessarily engage with it so well. Kind of like people like me, you sort of go, I want to be like these guys and offer support to people, but some of us struggle to just have that confidence, and these guys have got that confidence in spades. So that's something, if you're out there listening and you need someone to talk to, hit these boys up.
Don't speak to this guy.
Seriously, no joke. Yeah, these guys are just ears.
Yeah,
I guess we've had some pretty deep talks about it, and if us having a little talk to someone or a little 5-minute thing in our gig helps like one person in the whole time we have our band, then it totally works. You know, and when we first started talking to people, I thought like, oh shit, like it is a big responsibility, and like you think, oh, what if something goes wrong, and they should be talking to someone else. But sometimes people don't want to talk to the exact avenues that there are for them, and they just want to hear basically. And I think that's all we've done. You know,
because that's the other thing about music is it's like you get people might struggle to see that they do have that kind of problem that they want to express to people, but when you go to a music concert and people are talking about that, all of a sudden it seems like a natural arena to sort of just go feel like you're part of one big collective.
Yeah, you're not alone anymore. Like you're out there. There's a huge crowd. There's other people, and there's people that are listening.
Yeah, and everyone's supportive of it. Like everyone at the gig would just be like, yeah, I love seeing this. This is part of the reason why I want to keep seeing it. And
the story people told us, like after, you know, like people that have either worked at the gig or just been to the gig, like stuff they've been through, or they've lost a family member, like you wouldn't even pick it, you know, and then they just come out and reach out to you and have a chat about it. And, you know, like you play that massive, awesome gig and it's this huge rush at the end of the night. And then, you know, like I remember waking up the next day to messages about it from people, and that's an even bigger rush. You know?
So I've even had sound guys like being like standoffish at the beginning of the night. You know, you rock up, you know, some sound guys can be this and that. And we do our message of, you know, awareness, and then like end of the gig, like, you know, like I've had sound guys come in and hugging me and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're all standoffish at first, but it's like, man, we love what you're about, we love what you do. And then I explained to them what happened in my life, very close to me, and like, you know, literally like these guys are, you know, and they end up being like soft cuddly bears in the end. But you know, so it's amazing to see people reactions, you know, like we like, if we can help, that's all we ask for, you know what I mean? Like, so.
And then, meeting people like Dino, I mean, like, that first time in Bunbury, I think we chatted to him for about 2.5 hours or something, like, and that was before he even had this concept of walking across the bloody country. And
so you spoke to him before he went out on his long walk.
Yeah, because he does photography. Yeah. Did a bunch of photos down there at the gig, and then we just got talking, and I think we were outside the gig for about 2.5 hours just talking to him about it. You know, and then you see this crazy,
very inspirational guy. Yeah, and he actually had planned on doing it again, but then COVID came. He was going to walk back.
That was it. So he's going to New Zealand. No, he said he's going to walk across New Zealand, didn't he? Like north to south or something.
Just walk past the borders, can't he? Just walk around.
Yes, but it's crazy though. I suppose it makes perfect sense actually when you're saying that a lot of people, you know, that are, you know, suffering from mental health would or depression would go to your shows, because again, of course, that's the whole reason why Chester left us. Wow.
Yeah, it's a deep thing. Like trust me, that some of our shows get pretty emotional. Like so.
I could imagine.
So like, you know, especially like when you're putting like images of Chester and we do it around the video to the whole tribute thing, you know, it gets pretty emotional. Like the show, our show goes like a roller coaster. You know, I mean, like it builds up,
an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, emotional roller coaster. Yeah. So up and down, but then we finish on a bang, you know. But I guess that's what makes our show unique, you know. So
I mean, I remember like at Singapore, we tried to keep it more based on the music and that sort of thing, and we just said a few things here or there. And then I remember playing acoustic and just seeing people like bawling, like looking up to the sky, you know, like people they'd lost just over a little tiny thing that I said, but they were listening, you know. Yeah. And it's just surreal, like in a different country to have people affected by it. But I mean, it all comes back down to Chester, really. And it just kind of ties in with what we did.
But it's amazing the impact that Chester had on the whole world, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like, such a big figure, you know, like, you know, he's like, his legacy, you know what I mean? It's massive. You know, like,
look, he was one of my biggest frontmen idols, if you like. And I remember the morning when I woke up and I saw the news that he died. I get all goosebumps now as well. I remember I said to my wife, I said, I don't know if this is a hoax or something like.
But you know, you read the lyrics, you know, like that's suicide note right there, you know, like, you know, he's
and But at the same time, it's so surreal because every time you listen to a Linkin Park song now, that's all I think about. I think about the fact that he's changed not just his own, but the band's legacy forever. So that
amplifying it is just you'd listen to these songs for years and you'd be like, oh, it's just a cool song. I'm not going to read into it. And then as soon as he passed away, you start listening to the lyrics more and you're going, wow, this guy had a troubled life for a very long time and was expressing it through music, and a lot of people didn't realise. It's the struggle with mental health, just in a nutshell, essentially.
Yeah, but the thing is, like obviously, a lot of other bands are doing the same thing because again, it like music is therapy for a lot of people. You know, it's a good way for them to sort of express their emotions. But for them to then actually take their own life is, you know, next level. And luckily, it doesn't happen as often as people are writing about it. But man, yeah, it's been this. Yeah, it's so cool to hear that actually has had that you guys are now almost become like ambassadors for that as well.
Yeah. But we love playing the music too. That's
of course.
Honestly, playing Linkin Park stuff is so fun. You know, like, to go from playing covers, you know, like your standard top 40 stuff, to like rocking out these guys all the time, and like it's the best, man. Like I really look forward to gigs, you know. But just to touch on that note, like, you know, as a band, you've got to get along, and you've got to have the same personalities or get along, you know. And like these boys are so easygoing, and it's the band flows like that, you know what I mean? So it's important to be on that page too as a band. You know, everyone's got to be on the same page and flow, you know.
But so I suppose that brings me on to probably a very obvious question here. Why are you thinking about maybe doing any originals? Like, if you are such a good, well played band, you have all these productions, you've got your network set out. Would that be an option maybe?
No one cares about my original.
A few of us came from original bands as our background. I've only played in original bands before I joined this band, and for me it's just a huge difference seeing the production and what's been put into this band. It's just a big step up for me. I invested in new equipment just to get to their level, and I really appreciate it. So I don't think we will be doing originals. That's something that a lot of us do separately to this.
Right.
And, so Ashes of Autumn, Roses for Ghost, Amberville, and he's got his own solo stuff as well. Too. He raps as well, and he's from Grenade Brain.
Yep.
Me and Ryan just bum nuts.
It's like we've all got that outlet.
I honestly, man,
one day.
Yeah, I've done the originals things. Trust me, I'm over it. Like, I'm over, like, you know, the originals in Perth is a hard world, mate. I can tell you that now. If you're over in Melbourne, like, you know, in Melbourne, you know, you could go watch a live act pretty much every night of the week, you know. Here, no chance, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't write it off 100%, but like, I mean, I'm proud of where we're at, but I think like, and especially where Z envisions us going is like, we've got a lot of work to go still, you know. So that's our main focus, is like to get it to the. I don't think we're ever going to stop working on it. Like,
but you think of it this way.
Technology.
Yeah, but you think of it this way, like we are like a tight unit. Like, everyone brings something to the band. So like Jez, he does like video editing and marketing. Like that's his job.
Artwork.
You know? The artwork. That's his thing. And like you know, I'm a sound engineer, so the sound side of it. And now the lighting, obviously, that's the next step for us. So we're all got something. Like Stevie's always helped me with like putting together the samples that I can't find or replicate. So he's good on Fruity Loops.
A bit of production. Yeah.
So he does all the rap and looping and stuff. So everyone sort of brings something. Like we revolve around ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, so like, even like I was telling you, like, you know, I multi-track the gigs because we may as well get into it. We do our own monitoring. So I put this upon the band because we're playing the backing tracks and click tracks. I put the whole band on in-ears, and so that means now we've got vocal cues and we'd have to count in and stuff like that. And it went from me being on a click on my own, being the drummer like yourself, to putting everyone on a click has been like day and night, because now it's sort of like,
whole new world.
Yeah, it's like it pulls everyone back, because when you're drummer on your own and you're holding the tempo, when the crowd reacts, these boys get excited. You're always trying to pull them back, and so ever since I put them all on a click and everyone's got a click, it's like you don't have to think about it anymore. The band just flows,
Yep.
So it's very important. I don't think people realise how important that is. And then, so when we rock up to a show, we do our own monitoring. So I always run a split to front of house for everything. So that means every gig we've got the same monitor system going. So every gig we've got the same mix. And I've even got like a talkback mic where I talk to them if something goes wrong, or Stevie talked to the crowd and he just starts crapping on, stuff like that. But like I was saying, like with the in-ears, it's very important. Like people ride using in-ears because people are using in mono, and you shouldn't be doing that. Like if you run your in-ears in stereo and you run ambient mics on stage, it opens up the sound. It doesn't sound so closed in your ears, So stereo is a big factor as well, because if you're running mono, it's just a wall of sound, so you're just battling a wall of sound, whereas in stereo you can pan the field, so I've got my click like 80% on the left, and I've got my backing on the right at 80%, and then I've got guitar here, guitar and vocals and drums in the middle, and the mix doesn't clash, like you basically like listening to a CD in your head, and that's what I don't think people understand. So I always read like on the forums, like people writing in-ears off, because a singer's got in-ears and they're running a mono mix, and then has a sound guy does it for, oh, this is crap, So,
but it's also, again, it's to begin with, it's money. So again, like you have that extra outlay up front.
Yeah.
But then again, especially as a singer as well, it takes a bit of time to get comfortable with that when you are used to having a foldback on the floor. I've used in-ears for many years. I've got a set myself because it's a lot easier as a drummer, because that essentially just gives you a click here instead of giving you a click and a foldback. But for the whole band to sort of sync up, again, it's a lot of money, man.
We've been playing microphones that Chester and Shinoda used. So we've got the exact same wireless microphones.
Yeah, exact same mics.
So that was another cost that we were like, no, let's just invest in that.
So, all these boys are on wireless in-ears, and like wireless packs. It was really important for the act. Like in the future, like I was explaining earlier with the production, a lot of it's going to be like, blacking out the stage and then being pitch black, and then coming into the next song, on the first count without counting in and stuff like that. It's going to be like choreographed like that, and you need that for what we're going to do, So it's going to be next level stuff when it comes out.
But that's exactly what all, as you mentioned before, in regards to the big international touring access of like, that is what they're doing as well, and that is so. I mean, the fact that you're doing it already, and you were doing it on your I think you mentioned Singapore was your 5th gig. I said so you guys would have matured so damn fucking quick, man.
Yeah. What is when we were in Singapore and I showed them my setup, like asked these boys, like I had like 5 sound engineers like around me, like just going, what's this guy doing? Like, so, you remember that? Remember like, so, like they were like wondering,
personal assistant.
Yeah, so they were wondering like what was going on, But I had it all sussed, and that way, like as a sound engineer, like rule number 1 is making your performer comfortable. If the performer's comfortable, they'll play better. You know what I mean? That's your rule number 1. Like how many times you see an act and like, fold back up, or like this, like we don't have to deal with that. Like we've got the same mix every show, And again, like I've got custom molded, so I've got like a perfect mix in my ear. Like I don't get no bleed, So it's stuff like that you can even make it even better. But if you got custom molded in ears, you have to have a mix from every instrument on stage. You can't not have one then, So
exactly.
So that's like so for example, like Rafi just said, coming into this and just seeing our setup and the professionalism that goes on, it's like it's a different level, but it's it is what it is. It's what Hybrid Theory is all about, you know.
But I suppose again, as an audience, like you also you get that extra thing that you're gonna take back and say, shit, these guys are not just another another cover band. You know, they're actually, you know, they're not Linkin Park either, but they are up there. You know, they have you know the big screens. They have like all the visuals with the lights that are all synced up and stuff, and all the backing tracks and all that.
In summary, Steve, just we haven't discussed the original sort of pathway, but I think if we did decide to do it with all this technical stuff that we've amassed and all this equipment, it would be just a whole new world for a lot of original bands in Perth.
So we've got a drinking game that we can play for the podcast if you start listening to this early. It involves things that Zoran says. So the first drink will be Trust Me.
Trust me. Done
more research. The third one, it's a whole new world.
Nice.
Next level, it's a whole new world.
Trust me.
We'll have to write a little manual out by the time this actually goes on the podcast, so people that listen back to it can be used as a drinking game.
Like these boys don't see they have a rough estimate how much I put into this, but they don't even know how much I put into this. Like how many hours, you know. Like I've sat like full day on, because I work in the mines. I have like a week off, so I'll sit one day on one song, choreographing on one song, a full day, you know, and like. It's been a lot of work, but it's starting to show, you know. And once it's finished, and trust me, you haven't seen our show.
Not yet.
You haven't seen our show even like at 50% yet. Like so, we got big things coming.
And he plays drums too.
And I play drums too.
I'm excited.
And manages the band.
Yeah.
So
again, that's led to now doing production of other bands as well, you know. So, you know, that it was never the idea. I've always wanted to be just for us, but then, you know, there's been times I went and did like for Electric State Boys. I went and did, you know, their production, and I've done Ashes of Autumn, and that led to doing for Gyroscope. So, you know, I actually really enjoy doing it. I love doing it. So, you know, in the future, if anyone wants to beef up their show, I'm going to be the man for it. But I'm new on the scene, but, you know, I can definitely put a light show together for you.
yeah, awesome.
But yeah.
Well, I suppose let me just have a look here. So again, I suppose we could maybe touch base on the actual upcoming show, because you are playing next month in about a month from now?
Yeah, September 26th.
Yep.
It's a Saturday night, so.
What can people expect from that?
A whole new world. A whole new.
Trust me.
Yeah. It'll be next level, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've only been able to play, is it one gig this year?
Yeah.
Really? Because of the whole COVID thing.
It started.
And that was low numbers, and we were ready to play again. So we just took a gig very quickly. It was free entry, but limited numbers. So this is really like our first gig.
First gig. Best $20 you ever spend. Trust me, we'll play every single Linkin Park song. Literally, I've never had anyone come up to us and go, "You didn't play this song." Never. So like, we'll play every single Linkin Park song, like 5 hours worth, like.
And we'll play like a couple songs twice.
Just to everyone listening, you haven't seen local bands play to this level for the last 6 months. So like, you know, come to our show.
Yeah, no cap.
Really.
Yeah. And it's the 20th anniversary of Hybrid Theory, so that's the whole point of this show, is we're doing that album from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you're planning on playing the whole album?
Yep. Whole album from the top to the bottom.
Back to back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Back to back.
And every other Linkin Park song as well.
And Meteora as well. That'd be lit.
I'm working on that one.
Maybe we'll do Meteora.
We're about one song off doing all of Meteora too. So.
Yeah, so
if we sell out, we'll do Meteora.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, we got Electric State opening up for us, so I think they're perfect act. Like in our eyes, they're one of the top original bands in Perth. You know, Rob will definitely get everyone fired up before we get on stage, and I'm looking forward to those boys, you know. Good drinking mates as well. So.
Oh yeah,
we've had a support act.
Yeah, saying that it's been the first time we had a support act because we usually we put our coin back in production because obviously our production isn't cheap. So being an investment, we always put our money back into the production. But we just wanted to try something different and put a support act on for this show just to see how it goes, and we'll go from there. I think it's going to be a perfect fit for us, and I think they can bring. They can bring it, So
yeah. So yeah, FYD. But otherwise, like when you normally structure gigs, so would you usually just do them as a single event, and you guys just play for like I don't know how long do you play for, an hour and a half or something?
Oh, over 2 hours, but we do 2 sets.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've even got like a thing going because we've got the screens and the visuals. So now I've got the rig together. I've got like live footage of all like new metal acts, so that can entertain the crowd when they rock up to a gig. Like playing Korn or whatever. I've got like on the visual and the screen live acts. So what I mean, like it's not going to be just rock up and there's house music. It sort of brings to the show and it builds up.
Yeah, cool.
But, so having the production like that is a bit of a bonus too.
But honestly, man, how long does it take to set up? Like, do you guys arrive like a week before or something?
Longer than it should.
No, well the thing is, no, listen. We haven't done the full scale show yet. Like it's been building up, So it's yet to do because I'm still programming a lot. I've still got a fair bit to do, like to get it to where it's got to be. But I've got it pretty sussed now. When I do other acts, I can have the lighting up within like about an hour and a half, Trust me. And so then add the visuals into it. Maybe I'm estimating at a full act probably 4 hours. 4 hours. Maybe it'll probably get to a point too where we're going to employ people to help us as well.
Yeah.
I think that's where we'll be at. I think when it's finished and you get a full-scale show, people will definitely come back, So I think the product will be massive, So in the end, I think we'll end up getting employees to help us, so it won't be sort of on them,
Yeah.
But the rule is once it all gets paid off, it's going to be a 5-way split. You know what I mean? So as long as everyone pitches in and we set up, take down together. Then once the production's paid off, then we'll start reaping the benefits from it,
Yep.
So
just out of curiosity, like what would be like your 3-year plan, 5-year plan?
All right, so it's quiet.
No, it's not that.
Definitely go over east.
Yep.
Go to Asia. And do more promotion stuff like videos, like covers that we can put on YouTube, and just work on the craft.
Definitely the next thing is to get, I think we're at a point where we need to get more professional promo done. Like we work with promo, but even that video, our main promo video is our first gig, So look at the level we had it already. So like with all the production equipment I've got, and once I program it all, we're going to put together some pretty good video clips and, multi-angle. And I'm not talking even like doing a live show. We want to hire out a warehouse and, we've got that coming up, So we're going to put together some more pro-level production. I think that's our next goal, Like I'm talking like real pro stuff, like multi-angled, multi-tracked and that kind of stuff. Not just jump up on stage and hope for the best and film it, It's going to be...
Yeah. Because
I think me as the manager that like I've got to have if I'm going to go tour over east and I want to do it without a touring agency because I just feel that touring agencies just suck the money out of you.
Yeah.
So I think once I've got a more professional product there, I'll be able to sell it to the venues and then like I think where I'm going to invest my money is into the Facebook, into the social networking, sort of someone who can help me with that. Rather than like a touring agency just taking like 80% of it, you know what I mean? Like I've been talking to a few of the bands that have come through, and everyone gets the raw end of the deal with a touring agency. I know they get the exposure, but the touring agencies are investing into like the social networking, you know. So I think that's where it's at, you know. So I think that's next. I'm actually trying to learn the ins and outs of the whole. Like, I've seen your podcast earlier today.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of an eye opener, wasn't it?
Yeah, like, you know, I think basically you got to pay money to make money. You know what I mean? Like to be seen.
Always, yeah.
You know what I mean? So whether it's a touring agency investing $5,000 in your tour, or you do it yourself, but you know, a touring agency will take a certain percentage out of your cut. Whereas if we could keep it all in house, you know, that's my goal. So my goal is to like put the production in a container. We'll go over east. I'll approach the venues and we'll put on a big show. You know, I think if you
3-year, 5-year plan.
No. I think as soon as this COVID virus thing goes away, we'll be over there. We've got people screaming for us. I know there's a market over there. There's been other acts that's gone over and sold out. Sydney and Melbourne, very similar. I won't get too into it, but I know there's a market over there, you know. So,
but I was like, look, you're covering Linkin Park. There'll be a market for that everywhere. You know what I mean?
Look at this way. Metallica has got 30 million followers on Facebook, and Metallica's the best act in the world. Like you know, their whole product they got there is massive. Linkin Park's got double, 60 million, double. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a more broad audience, you know. But saying that, Linkin Park hasn't been an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? Like look at Perth. You got 20 AC/DC acts. You know, anyone. I won't say anyone, but it's an easy act to do. But Linkin Park hasn't been easy. I can tell you that now. Like without the backing tracks and doing all that sampling and stuff like that, and having someone like Rice step up and you know have the balls to get up and you know it's the beat Chester, you know, like it's mate, yeah, that's a thing in itself. There,
that's an impossible style of singing.
You know what I mean? And it's got to take a person like him to have a crack at it. Like you said that day, like he almost didn't rock up, you know, because you know, but last minute he come in and blew us away, and mate, like 5 gigs later we're in Singapore, like you know, like. Yeah. Coming home at 6 a.m. and having breakfast. It's been like honestly like it's been a
wild ride.
It's been a wild ride and like you know it's been amazing so far what we've done and achieved. It's just been like it's been an amazing ride, you know, and top blokes as well.
Yeah, now very very short time frame as well. Like if you haven't even been around for 2 years, you know you've accomplished a lot more than people that have been around for, you know.
There's plenty more to come. Trust me, there's plenty more to come out of us.
I think we're always just trying to evolve and be better in general anyway, like all bands try to do. But I think, like, with a tribute band, you could very easily, you know, learn the songs, get it to a point where you're pretty much happy with it, play gigs and just leave it there, whereas we're always trying to help each other out. Like, I found it really hard to do the screaming and singing thing. Like Stevie and Jez have helped me out massively with just pointers, you know. And there's always constructive criticism within the band, but to have an avenue where you can actually take it and not get shitty over it is what has progressed us. And I think our plan is always just to be better and better.
We're always evolving. We're always evolving. Like even like. You know, Rye's voice is very similar to Chester's. Like, I've got us multi-tracked, so if someone doesn't rock up to rehearsals, I can actually play because we're playing the backing tracks and click. I've actually got everyone multi-tracked, you know. So if he doesn't rock up, which he never does, you know, but there's been times when Rye doesn't rock up, you know, and then like I've got Chester's like some sort of backing tracks running over him, and like they sound like they actually sound very identical, you know, so.
Awesome.
It is what it is. So, you know, thanks for coming down. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I kind of said, like, there's plenty more to come from us. I can tell you that now. Trust me.
Awesome, man. No, I'm looking forward to it. Let me just bring it up again here. So people should head down on the 26th of September. So in a month from now, down at Badlands.
And we've got another show hinting down south, but I won't say where yet. But
should we say about the ticket?
Yeah, with the Badlands, like obviously because of the COVID stuff or the phase 4.
Yeah, it's because it's stage 4.
Stage 4, there is restrictions, as you know. So, you know,
but it's still only 100.
Well,
it's 275, I think.
Yeah,
so like, yeah, there's limited sort of spots. So if you think you're interested in coming down, get a ticket and get a ticket now, because you never know.
Tickets
we're getting close to selling. The tickets are going really well, so you might want to snap up a ticket because of the whole restrictions, you know. But I thought we just throw that in there because it's very important to know, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also down south, we've got something on the books, but you know, we're not going to speak too much about that.
Well, we'll have to wait for that one. If there's anyone out there, if anyone sort of looking or listening that wants to ask a couple of questions, try and fire them away now. So we'll head over to a Q&A in probably about 10 minutes. Before we do that, I have this sort of segment that I try and ask pretty much everybody who comes on the show, and I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask you. That is, if there is any sort of any tips or tricks or any good advice that you would give to other bands. You actually mentioned before about sort of the whole thing about the production value, which is brand new. I haven't had any of the other guests actually talk about production. But if there's anything else, if there's anything you can think of that have worked out really well for you, it can be one, it can be more things, but anything that has worked well for you that you could pass on to other bands.
Practice.
I think we can really only comment on that from like a cover band perspective, because that's what we are. We're a tribute band. But I think if we're going to talk about things that you can do as, say, a tribute band to make your act better, we've sort of covered it throughout this whole thing. Just the production side of things has definitely elevated us, I think, to like a massive level compared to other tribute bands in this town. But like just being, you know, really loving the music that you're playing and wanting to have that attitude of everyone's in there to sort of play it spot on and try and make it sound as much like the real deal as possible. That's the sort of I think people want to see when they go watch a tribute band. So that's part of what I think makes us, you know, makes people want to come and keep seeing us. Is just a lot of hard effort and a lot of work has gone into trying to make it sound like Linkin Park, essentially.
I think something we've learned, I guess it's come from Zoran, is we record every gig and we film every gig, whether it's just one standalone camera, and listen and watch yourself, because it's very hard to do that sometimes, because in a live thing, you can hit a few bum notes, you can get away with it, I mean, as a vocalist or whatever you play, but when you watch it back on a recording, that's when you can really go, oh man, that sounds bad there, I need to work on this. We're not coming together as a team here in this part, and I think that's what I've picked up from this massively is have the balls to record yourself visually and with audio and scrutinize it. Yeah, I always analyze after the shows and always message them like, how we can improve, or what's didn't work and stuff like that. So filming the gigs definitely can help. But my point on always like run it as a business, because it is a business. You know what I mean? That it's no different to running any other business. You need to put promotion. You have to put the product out to people to see. It's not going to like we heard earlier today. Like you're like if you put your music on Spotify, that does just because you put it on Spotify doesn't mean it's going to take off. You still have to do hard work and show the world the product, or show the customer the product, so that's important, and invest back in the band. Like, don't just take your money and run. Like if there's something you can invest in and make the product better, invest in it, and we're a classic example of that, but we're to a larger scale, what we're doing, I don't think no one's doing, but, in the end, you'll see what our product will be in the end will be a very high quality show. It's not going to be just like 5 guys on a stage playing at a venue in Perth, and then next month they're playing a venue in Perth. It's the same 5 guys stage, but it's that same show. Like as in, it's going to be a massive production that people will come back to see again. The product, it's your product. So that's what I'd say. Treat it as a business. It is a business.
But that, I suppose like in your case, it's also like it's more than just a business. You also have this big brand, like you are, because again, as a tribute band, you have the advantage of being a very, very like not only putting on a very, very good show, but also like you're putting on a really good show from a band that are so incredibly famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Like the business side of things, like if you want to scale it, which you guys are, then yeah, it's a no-brainer. You have to just be absolutely diligent on that and treat it in ins and out, like have a budget, really just map it out the same way. As I was talking to Matt about earlier in the podcast earlier today, and that is something that, again, as you mentioned as well, any business that takes themselves seriously needs to do that. The sooner you do that, the easier it is to identify your flaws and fix them. But the whole thing about filming yourself live is actually a really, really good tip as well, and something that probably, especially bands starting out, should do in order to fix mistakes live a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's actually a tip that is across all bands. That's not just tribute bands. It's something that original bands can take to the bank as well. It's just
even rehearsals, even filming rehearsals.
It's not so much being just like having that perfectionist kind of attitude to it, but like it is sort of just having that attitude where you strive for perfection as much as you can. And if you,
of course,
you go, okay, look, well, it was a pretty good gig. But if people come up to you and they say, 2-3 times that you've got this to work on, you just got to have that sort of, I guess, what's the word? When you just be humble enough to sort of like say, okay, yeah, I've got these things that I want to work on, because the more you strive for that, you go on that journey to perfection, the more fulfilling it feels as a musician. And that's something that you can do in original bands as well. But tribute bands.
But even like you said earlier today, you got to set a goal and a vision. Like without a goal and a vision, you're just going to be the same as anyone else, And so how far you reach is up to you, And like I can tell you, like look, there's been points where I'm trying to take this. I thought I'd never get to, but it's getting there, But, I like I said 6 months ago, I didn't even know how to turn a light on, and now I'm like putting together like massive intricate shows, and doing national acts like Gyroscope. So. You know what I mean?
But I must admit, like to hear about you and your proactiveness is super unique, man. Like you are, it's very rare to find someone that have that much time and passion to actually invest into music, which is like, again, very inspiring to hear. But that's also what will set you guys apart big time, because you have that dedication to actually escalate it. If there's no doubt, if you guys were playing original music and you were doing it the same way, you would be miles ahead of the game in no time.
Yeah, I know, but even like look at it this way, like look at Ashes. When Ashes are going to play, I'm going to do their production, you know what I mean? Like as in like, for jazz. When Roses play, I'm going to do their production, visuals and lighting. So each Grenade Brain, like their show production's going to, I'll tell you, if we put our heads together and start doing originals, I think we could put some lethal stuff together, like with the cover we've got, and not just music-wise, but production-wise, imagine that, But
I mean, we have had speed bumps along the way as well. I mean, it has not been easy, and the work that Z's put in is next level. But you have people in the band that don't have the exact same ideologies that Z has, and the same focus. And sometimes things just don't work out, and you've just got to get on to the next gig and just get on with it.
Yeah, we have had speed bumps. Like it hasn't been smooth sailing the whole way. But everyone's on the same page now, and when this act's finished, it's going to be massive.
That's the big thing you were talking about just having that foresight and that vision, and that's what I think Zoran sort of brought to this act. That's really helped it elevate, is because like what Rye's saying about the speed bumps and stuff, there might be conservative views in the band of sort of like maybe, I don't know, it's fear or just like spending too much money and is this going to work sort of thing. But there's always somebody in the band that has that confidence to sort of just go, look, this is how you got to do it, because this is how it's being done with the big acts. And you go watch these big acts and you leave saying that was amazing, I loved how they did that. And to be able to replicate that on such a small scale is something that you just need someone who has that foresight to say this is what we need, and then gains that knowledge.
Honestly, I just want to blow people away. Like when you come to a show, I just want to blow people away. You know, I want people to walk around just going, holy shit, you know what I mean?
And I think Linkin Park fans deserve that too. They don't deserve just a couple of guys just playing like some of the synth tracks on the guitar and that, and like vocals just getting by. Like I think Linkin Park fans are like next level fans to the band that they love, and they deserve to have a band that does it correctly.
Yeah, some big shoes to fill for sure. Awesome, man. Let's just before we head over to a Q&A, can you just for people listening back and for people that are watching, can you just give us a shout out to where they should go and keep up to date with your movements? Like where should, is it a Facebook page or are you mostly on Instagram?
Our Facebook is the primary source at the moment.
It's a good time to point out how hard it is actually to find our page on Facebook. So it's like, you got to look up, what's our Facebook page? It's Hybrid Theoryz with a Z, and Linkin Park Australia, I think is what it's called. But that's where we do most of our promoting, and
it's our most powerful.
That's probably the most prominent thing that we use to share gig news and things like that. Might be Instagram on the odd occasion, but more often than not, it's Facebook.
Yep. And you're planning on getting some stuff on YouTube eventually, from what I could. We
got some up there. We got a little bit up there at the moment, but I think I'm saving it all now. Once we get our next level promo coming and just like bang, in everyone's face. Yep. We've got the production. Once it gets filmed and put all together.
Yeah, YouTube will become a bit more prominent once we do a bit more promo work that's specifically geared to demonstrating our ability to do the songs and things like that. So. Most of it's now just promo material on Facebook, but I think YouTube will blow up eventually.
I'm planning on actually demoing some songs as well, or probably recording some songs as well.
We've already got stuff multi-tracked. I've actually got studio stuff done. Like I've been dabbling in the whole, because I'm a live sound engineer and I've got all the equipment. We have actually got stuff. I've actually multi-tracked my drums and we've got a few songs actually recorded already, as in Linkin Park songs. So as soon as the footage is there, we just got to put it all together.
Yeah, I think we want the video to be at the top level.
I am trying to do a video, our promo live, like multi-track it live while we're playing the song. Like I'm a bit against on the whole studio over a clip of us playing, but. Look, it doesn't always pan out like that, But let's say we've got probably 6 or 7 full Linkin Park songs recorded, multi-tracked in the studio.
Right.
So that's where we're at. So we've got a little audio there. We just got to get the video. It's more a factor for just getting together now and getting it done. So that's our next process: get the promo up to scratch. Once the promo's up to scratch, then the tours will come.
Excellent, and hopefully COVID will be away. Awesome, man. Let's jump over and have a look at a couple of questions here. While I scroll through the feed, I can give you some that was sent in earlier. Suppose this is a very obvious question, a question you would expect. But what is your favorite song to play live? And I'm expecting probably multiple answers here.
Can we go from left to right, or
You start up, Jeff.
My favorite song is "Pushing Me Away." That song's a banger. It's super fun to play on bass, and I was saying to the guys, like, when there was an anniversary post on Facebook once, and the question on the top of the post was, what's your favorite track from Hybrid Theory? And everyone, pretty much most people, had actually put "Pushing Me Away," surprisingly. And I didn't actually know that well until I saw that post, but then when we added it to the set list, I was just like, this song's amazing. Like, it's just so fun to play, and it's just got such a good tune to it. So.
Last track on the album, fam. The after song of Hybrid Theory.
Mine would be New Divide.
New Divide, I knew it. New Divide.
Sure. Every time I listen to it now, I get taken back to we had it as our intro in Singapore with the Transformers visuals and the build up and everything, and every time I hear it now, I just go like straight back to that moment. So, and I think it's a great song. That's it for me.
It's a hard question. It's like I don't know. I'm enjoying Faint. I don't know. It's definitely one of the songs where I hit a lot harder. I hit very hard on that song. I don't know, I just get right into it. But saying that, even pushing me away, there's something about the way we play it. Like we don't play it like the record exactly, like where it's sort of pulled back, and we play it with a certain sort of how would I say it? A certain vibe that we do, and
our own flavour.
Yeah, we put a bit of our own flavour to it, and it's right what Jess says. There is something about when we play that song which I enjoy as well. But I reckon Faint has always been my favourite to play.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I go for the same, because when you play Faint, like when that intro comes in, like you hear the crowd, like they're just like ready for it, you know. So you just feed off the energy of the crowd, and
that's how we got a massive outro we do with it as well. So I think that's Rafi.
For me, probably Figure 9.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just for me, that was when I was first listening to Linkin Park back in the day, a long time ago. That was one of the songs that really stood out for me. Back in the days playing Halo, a lot of people use that song on their montages, on Halo clips and things like that.
Really?
And yeah, so that song's always stuck out, and playing it live is just so fun. It has tapping parts on guitar, and yeah, it's a good one.
That's cool, because we only started doing that when you came into the band. So.
Yeah.
Figure 9.
Figure 9. We've only played it like once live.
Wow.
But I had the track finished for a while actually. I had the backing track already rolled.
Just need the Axeman to do that.
You see the Axeman, but yeah, that's where it's at.
So are you actually playing? And this, I suppose, this is just a question I just thought of now. Are you actually playing material from all albums?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think pretty much from.
We've got a song from every album.
Yeah, from Hybrid Theory up to Living Things. I don't think we do too much from the last two. There's Hybrid Theory. Most of it's Hybrid Theory and Meteor and Minutes to Midnight.
I think I can speak for everyone. Everyone really wants to hear the Hybrid Theory Meteor stuff like that. That's where it's at, you know. But we tried to be diverse in that. But look, I guess saying that, sometimes you play some of the other stuff, like some of the newer stuff, it doesn't work as good as old stuff, So we've tried it and scrapped it. You know what I mean?
I think we're at 2.5 hours that we can play now, and obviously, as a band, you want to play more songs, and you're not necessarily get sick of the songs, but then you go, oh, let's try this, let's try that. But then there's stuff that people just 100% want to hear, and it's the Hybrid Theory, Meteora stuff.
There was a question earlier, I can't remember, it wasn't on the chat, but someone was asking for Waiting for the End. Waiting for the End has been added, so that one's on the list. And Wretches and Kings, she was asking for, I'll see what I can do with that one.
Wretches and Kings,
Stevie can wrap that.
That would be Stevie's King. But yeah, I'm just answering a question I've seen earlier on before the podcast.
Wretches and Kings, we come to you. That'd be cool.
Nice.
So, more questions.
That's from one of the newer ones, yeah. We've got one here. So, is there a bucket list venue or concert that you'd like to play?
Budokan.
Which one?
Live at Budokan.
Nice.
That's a really good question.
What's
No,
that?
I don't know if there's a bucket list, but I think...
Beerfest 2021.
Tip that box.
Look, in the international show, yeah, but you know what? We are super keen to get over east to play all the big venues over in Melbourne, Max Watts and that kind of thing. So there isn't a specific bucket list on one venue, but we definitely can't wait to get over east and play all the big venues over east and show you what we're all about.
I think festivals have got to be the bucket list, because festivals are so rare these days, and then with COVID now as well. When is the next festival in Perth even going to be?
Yeah.
And those open air massive concerts, you just can't beat them.
Hey, we've played all the best venues in Perth as well. I guess it's out of Perth now what we're aiming for, and it is coming 100%.
Yep. Sweet, man. Then we got one here from the stream here. We got Rookie Stevens who asks, serious question here. Do you guys sometimes feel that being a Linkin Park cover band restricts you creatively, or do you find creativity in the covers? Yeah, and he says, for your information, I love Linkin Park. So again, he was just asking.
I know Rookie Stevens. Cheers, Rookie. Cheers,
Rookie Stevens. Well, they're such a versatile band, so there's just like so many styles you can do. Like you've got stuff like Leave Out All the Rest, which is your acoustics. You've got stuff like Faint. You've got stuff like from Hybrid Theoryz with the screaming. So there's just so many different styles of music to play, and it's also interesting.
You also got to note that a few of these boys are in original acts as well, so
we get that out.
They get that out like, oh look, I'm a bit older than these boys. I've been there and done that, So like originals isn't really on my list at the moment, so I love playing this music. Like you said, it's very versatile. It goes from one extreme to another.
It's very challenging too.
It's very challenging as well. But I'll tell you what, I never get bored. Like I love stepping on stage and playing this stuff. So that answers it in itself. So
Linkin Park has so many songs as well. There's always going to be other songs that we could add to the set list, or ways that we could do the songs differently. So there's a lot there.
I was just going to add to that, just creatively speaking, I don't think it does limit us per se. Like maybe for the show, it kind of limits us because it's like we're a Linkin Park band, we're strictly limited to playing Linkin Park songs. But we can take the sort of knowledge that we learn from playing their music and apply it to our own, original ventures, which is because every band has influences, like every band has been influenced by what's come before it. And I think Linkin Park's a great band to be influenced by, especially if you really like rock music. I think they definitely give you a lot of knowledge of how to use samples and DJing and things like that. And it's also one of the things I love about Linkin Park is that they're very simple as well in how they use guitars and things like that. So like that kind of stuff you take from playing in a tribute band and you can sort of apply it to your own music.
Well, their formulas, they're definitely doing something right, with their formula, so 60 million viewers,
Yeah.
But saying that, let's not rule it out in the future, originals. I think we could put something together, There's definitely a high caliber here with creativity and what we can do,
Write some bangers. Write some bangers.
Hey.
And going,
yeah, because everyone starts out playing other people's music to get good at their instruments, and then it's all that stuff that you take from learning that music that influences what kind of musician you want to be. So that's.
Let's speak. Do you know if you get sick of playing Linkin Park tunes?
No.
See what I mean? Like
I get sick of finishing a gig and then not being another gig lined up, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that's like there's something about it, like playing Linkin Park, and I'm so happy that I put it together, and went through it all, because I really look forward to playing, and I love playing Linkin Park, and that I guess that comes out in all of us, and that's what comes out on the stage, like we're very passionate about Linkin Park. We play it well, and we love playing it, We don't,
That's so cool to hear, man.
I think that answers the question right there,
Absolutely, man. Let us grab one or maybe two more. See if anything else comes up. I've got one here that I think is a really, really cool one. Is have you reached out? Have you tried to contact Linkin Park, some of the remaining members?
I think Stevie's done it. I think Stevie's tried to PM.
I think I try and message Mike Shinoda, but he hasn't got back to me yet.
Stevie's tried to get him to feature on his debut album.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some songs on Mike Shinoda, but he hasn't got back to me yet, but he might do soon. Maybe give him a few weeks.
Like he's got a bit of a waiting list, so we're aware of that. It might be a year or so.
Look, in the end, you're a tribute or you play covers. It's like you're not going to reach out to every artist like you playing Bryan Adams or whatever. It's like you do it because you love doing it, and I don't know. There hasn't really been a.
Maybe when we've got more stuff to show for ourselves, more stuff online. I'll message Mike Shinoda again.
I'm sure they go for their little search there, right? So, but you got to remember, we're not the only tribute act in the world. There is a lot of them.
There's like two more.
For sure. Oh, but I doubt there would be anyone doing it to the scale you guys are doing. Like,
I was actually just thinking now, I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't.
Yeah,
I think we probably should do that actually as soon as we finish up here. We'll just
I doubt there isn't many acts that are going to be doing that what we're doing. Like we're going to be bringing like a national act show at a smaller venue, you know. So I think that goes across the whole board with us, you know. I think we're just taking it to next level stuff, and yeah, we'll see where it takes us.
Trust me, next level. All right, let's grab one last one.
Moment of truth.
Unless we've got anything here.
I like how Zeke try and look smarter.
I suppose this one here again is sort of very, very similar to the first question I asked. So it's just like which album is your favorite album? And that could be obviously for many reasons. I know every. Hybrid Theory? I'm just guessing.
Hybrid Theory, pretty much. I think we all grew up around the time that Hybrid Theory was the Ducks Nuts, and that's just been the hardest album for them to top.
I'd say Meteora.
Really?
Get out! You're out of the band.
Hey, so I'll let you know on a bit of a secret. Like when we started the band and we wanted a title, like a name, Hybrid Theory is my favourite album. I love Hybrid Theory, start to finish. I can listen to it over and over again. I wanted to name the band Hybrid Theory, and after a few Google searches, there's probably about 5 or 6 hybrid theories around the world, like different
5 or 6 in Australia.
Yeah, every corner of the globe there is a hybrid theory. And then I think we settled on we were actually Meteora, and we actually started a page, so we're actually going to be called Meteora. And I sat back, like being sort of looking at it as a commercial point of view, and it just didn't have that edge, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't have that sort of commercial grab, you know. And I remember being at the rehearsals and just going, so mind you, we've settled on Meteora, pages up and around us as guys. It's not sitting well with me. I says, I want Hybrid Theory. They says, there's other bands. I says, all right, how about I put a Z on them though, called the Hybrid Theoryz?
The Z for sorry.
Not because of me, but sure. I just like the way it rolled, and also then we're not the same as Hybrid Theory like the other ones. There's a few of them. I just had my heart set on it. Like I just didn't want to budge on it, but then. Like, it was honestly, I was like packing up my drums, and it's like, everyone's like, yeah, we're doing Meteora. I was like, nah. I said, it's not sitting well. I don't like it. I'm not settling, you know. And then it's like, how about Hybrid Theoryz? Everyone looks and says, yeah, that's pretty cool, you know. And that's a bit of an insight onto how we got the name, and it is what it is.
I wanted to be called the Hunting Party. I was like, that album's a banger, but everyone's like, nah, that's not going to work.
But yeah, I think Hybrid Theory is the album. It's the one.
Yep. Any others?
It's Meteora.
Meteora Hybrid Theory. Come on, you can't.
An album name or a song name, It's just like that's the tribute thing.
Those two are two bangers off an album, and sonically, like produced. Like even Meteora, I think, is like one of the best mastered albums. Like like when you look more into it, like apparently that was like up there when it how it got recorded engineering wise and the way it got mastered.
They spent their lives on that album. They did a whole album and scrapped it and did Meteora from start up again. That's just.
But come on, like how can you go past? Like you can listen to Hybrid Theory start to finish and not get sick of it, and same as Meteora, Like Minutes to Midnight is killer album as well, different direction a little bit, but you know what I mean. You got your bangers on that album, but there's a few there that, as well, I love Linkin Park and I love all their music, but Hybrid Theory and Meteora, you just can't get past it. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't. Simple,
I must admit, actually, one of my, and this is probably a bit of an outsider song, one of my favorite Linkin Park songs is The Little Things.
Yeah, that's a lovely song.
Yep.
Cool. Little Things you get.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing for me again is the whole outro bit where all the vocal layers are added on top. I think that's it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Also,
Little Things give you away.
Hunting Party's got some bangers on there as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
For the left ball songs, like everyone knows like the Meteora, Hybrid Theoryz, Minutes to Midnight, but Hunting Party's got some bangers, and I think in the future you might hear a hunting party medley out of us. You know, like we could put something together like that. That's a good idea coming up, you know.
Sweet, man.
But yeah, Hybrid Theory #1. That's it.
Cool. I actually just thought of another fun question here. That's probably more for the vocalists here. The whole sort of screaming bit in the breakdown in what is it called again?
Giving up.
Giving up. Yeah.
The infamous.
Are you guys playing that?
We try to do it. I think on good note, I can probably do about 10 seconds, but
don't be modest, right? I've seen you smash that out. He's trying to be like, oh, I try, but he's like, for ages. Yes, that sounds wicked.
Super challenging to do that.
Take a big breath.
That's a set wrecking song. It's got to be done quick.
Just pace it up.
It's like you either face that double-edged sword where you leave it too late and his voice is already screwed, or just get it out of the way and hopefully the rest of the show is all good.
Yeah. Big breath.
No, we do. We do play it, and he gives it all he can, and that's it. You know.
I mean, even Chester sometimes he'd do it and then take a quick break and then do another part. I think it's one of the most challenging screams that's ever been recorded.
It's like a meme. That scream is like a meme. It's like bigger than the song itself. That scream.
It's next level. And I mean, for me as a vocalist, like to try and even just remotely get close to what Chester does has improved my vocals massively. I think like just to even try to get to what he does. He was one of the best vocalists of all time. I think
top 5.
Yeah, Ryan's strength definitely is the clean stuff. When he sings clean, like he sounds very similar to Chester, very similar. Like so.
But he can also do the growls.
He can do the growls as well.
He's a bloody good growler.
He loves growling.
Well, guys, man, it's been a pleasure. I've actually learned a lot, especially about the whole production side of things. That's super interesting to hear how you guys operate, and really hope a lot of other people have been paying attention as well, because I think that is something that everybody, whether you're playing a tribute or original, is something that everybody should take a bit more seriously, especially if they sort of want to upscale the game there. Let's do a quick shout out to the concert again here. I'm just going to put the banner back up here. So come down, buy a ticket. Do you guys want to take over here and do the little sales pitch?
Go on, Jeremy. Look at it.
Saturday, September 26th at Badlands.
Be there.
Be there. Do as you're told.
Don't have you got your tickets yet? Fuck COVID.
Electric State are going to be there, so you know it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, let's let a big shout out to Electric State boys again. You know I love you boys, mate, and I know you're going to rip it up.
Yeah, we're going to get upstaged for sure.
Rob is commenting here as well, saying the best live show in Perth and rocking lads hanging out for Badlands.
Cheers, Rob. You're a fucking legend, man. Trust me, I love you boys, man.
It's going to be good banter for sure.
Fantastic, man. Look, I'm going to jump on and buy a ticket now once we hang up here, because again, I don't.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
Don't want to miss out. Awesome, man. And look, we're gonna finish off actually on one of the songs you mentioned before, New Divide from Singapore.
There you go.
I don't think I need much of an introduction, because you've given us a lot of spoilers from that trip. That sounded like that was a trip of a lifetime. But is there any final words you wanna bring up in regards to that song?
Trust me.
Honestly,
next level.
Honestly, that footage is from the second night on the side stage. First night we did the main stage, like massive crowd. For us, it was like, a bit of nerves or whatever. But that second night, like we got up there and we're just in the pocket, like, you know what I mean? Like it was like we were worried about, like, it's the second night and the smaller stage, but honestly for us that second night was our favourite night, because we just grabbed the crowd, man. Honestly, everyone was just going nuts start to finish. So every time I watch that footage, goosebumps, man. Honestly, like anytime that New Divide comes on, and when Stevie runs out, it's like, hey, what's up, Singapore? I get goosebumps, and I guarantee it every time. So it was definitely a life experience for me, and I think for all these boys. And look, hope we can do it again. But if I never get to do it again, like, you know, it was like amazing experience. So that's it.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, boys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.